Hey folks, it's Mark Daniels from ResultsBI with today's strategy execution tip. And I'm going to have some fun today with the execution tip, so I hope you enjoy it. Ride the wave. Cowabunga, dude. Hey, as the pandemic resides, it's time to find a wave and ride it. Cowabunga, dude. So what do I mean by that? So every financial crisis, unfortunately, creates a vacuum. Businesses fail. Businesses stumble, spending's pulled back, spending cuts are made, and things change. After the last financial crisis, a survey said that over 60% of companies grew. In fact, 26% of them grew modestly after the financial crisis. However, 37% broke away from the pack. And why? Because they had made some cost cuts, they had saved their money, and then spent it wildly on emerging opportunities after the financial crisis passed. The financial crisis is passing. The pandemic is going to be behind us. So you really have to find that wave as the pandemic resides. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My greatest successes were all riding a wave. And most came after a major financial downturn. Hey, Computer Discount of America, I got lucky. I launched it as a young guy and grew to be about $3 million by 1981, 82. And then the United States was in a major financial crisis. And I nearly hit the wall. The company nearly went out of business. Then we made some adjustments and we exploded out of that financial crisis with some major growth. That company got to $80 million a year. Pre-Press Solutions, I joined that company in 91. It was stumbling, falling apart. It was selling an old technology called typesetters, and they were not going to survive. We came up with a new methodology, cutting an entire step out of the pre-press process, and we started to sell these Panther plate setters. We created the product. And those plate centers cut an entire step, one whole hour process out of going to press, and newspapers that had to hit midnight or 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. deadlines jumped all over it. And we grew that company rapidly and sold it a few years later. GameDealer.com. I launched that during the dot-com bubble. And yeah, I had a lot of trouble getting in that second and third round of funding. And in fact, I ended up selling it to Electronics Boutique. But the dot-com bubble actually created the opportunity for me to sell it. I sold it to somebody that was smart. Sold it to Electronics Boutique. And by the way, type in www.gamedealer.com if you're a gamer and see where it brings you to today. Put the 3 W's in front. Instrumentation Engineering. Incredible company. Helped a friend of mine with his business plan. His wave was fiber optics. Sold a boatload of product to Lucent Technologies in other providers all around the globe, fiber optic providers and fiber optic test equipment, and ended up selling that company to Flextronics for $300 million. And then many of you might know me from Diligent Board Member Services. I was one of the 7 founders. We took that company public in 2006. By 2008, we were almost out of money. We only had 2 or 3 months of cash reserve left after taking it public. Very embarrassing. The country was in a financial crisis. We made some minor adjustments to our target market, and we exploded with growth. And in 2016, we sold that company for $941 million. So my greatest successes were all riding a wave. Cowabunga, dude. So that's my challenge to you. It's going to be challenging to find that wave. I know you can do it. Look for that wave. You'll find it. Spend some time looking through the things, how things have changed, what trends are developing, and find that wave as the pandemic resides. Thank you, and remember, at ResultsBI, we make strategy execution easy.